CYBR International is an AI-powered cybersecurity solutions company which provides holistic product and service solutions to the federal and commercial organizational space. Recognizing that existing safeguards and countermeasures are not enough to mitigate emerging advanced persistent threats, CYBR has created a new AI-powered group of tools which helps organizations and individuals get ahead of these threats and attacks before they compromise the enterprise network. However, before you can defend against attacks, you have to understand what the threats are. This includes having analysis of existing and emerging vulnerabilities, threats, and advanced persistent threats that are designed to circumvent detection. Any reputable cyber expert will tell you that understanding tactics, techniques, and procedures is critical. Here, this is where we do such in our Advanced Threat Intelligence Platform Analysis tool. One of the things that's critical within our Advanced Threat Intelligence Platform is looking at behavioral analysis. Put another way, how do organizations act and how can we attribute bad actor behavior to a particular bad actor? Another key area that we look at is geopolitical and signal intelligence. In other words, what's happening in certain parts of the world that we need to pay attention to before it proliferates to other areas of the globe. It's important to be ahead of the curve. That's why we try to look at live threat feeds. Be proactive. If something has happened and we have to react, we're already behind the 8 ball. Time and speed are of the essence, so we can't spend that time looking at false flags. That's why it's important to understand what's real, what's perceived, and what's false. Think of hashing as a unique fingerprint that identifies a particular file. If we've got ransomware, for instance, we need to track that hash down. And in some instances, the file may not exactly match a known bad file in our database. That's why, if it's similar, we need to say, hey, maybe this is 89.2% similar. Let's go ahead and take some more time investigating this bad file before we allow it into the network. The problem with many antivirus solutions, for example, is that they only can identify exact matches. In other words, if it recognizes a bad file that's a virus, it will say, hey, this is no good, don't let it in. The problem is that now viruses, ransomware, and other malware don't match exactly. They're just a percentage away perhaps from being an exact match, and the existing tools will not recognize them. So that's why we have problems with files being let in, not being recognized, and then compromise occurs. Our files use deep hashing, which can tell if a file is similar but not exact and stop the bad things from happening. The first vulnerability scanners really came out back in the mid-90s, and I was fortunate enough to work with an internal research and development team. Now, having almost 30 years of working with these tools, we've developed vulnerability and threat scanners that far exceed the capabilities of other products on the market. In this example, you can see we're searching for port services and other things that most scanners will look for. But because of our proprietary algorithms, we're also able to put in hash values that we will search for these particular matches that we've discussed that will find things that the other scanners simply miss. Who doesn't love an old-fashioned heat map? Here we can look at things going on in a geopolitical sense and understand what's happening where in the world. And getting ahead of this is important because we can defend before it comes onto our soil. I'm proud to have won numerous awards, grants, and accolades for work done referencing rooting out illicit and not safe for work files. Did you know that 90% of commercial organizations have child pornography stored unknowingly on their networks? This contributes to almost a $2 billion a year dark web marketplace. We like to root this stuff out, remove it from the network, and put a stop to this horrible trafficking and illicit file sharing that most companies don't even know they're contributing to. Rooting out and removing these illicit files isn't just a good idea, it's required by federal law, Sarbanes-Oxley being an example. So this is an excellent tool to ensure that compliance is occurring. Threat Intelligence Portal is a wonderful idea. So many people identify threats in the wild and they want to report them, but they don't know where. Now they can be reported to cyber. We will insert these into our solutions and propagate it to our clients. And we're working on something where people who do this will be rewarded in ASEC tokens. Essentially, we'll be looking to tokenize and add a crypto component that rewards people for their time and effort. And as you can see, it's very easy to submit a threat. Just put in the information and your contact info, and someone from Cyber will get back to you. Again, what's better than getting rewards for your time? CMMC tool is aimed more at the cybersecurity professional, but the comprehensive cybersecurity maturity model is something that's being required by federal law for small businesses to accomplish in order to do business with the federal government. We're able to help you with the CMMC requirements that are needed so that your business can keep doing work with the Fed. Here we supply a sample screenshot of the various levels that can be used in our toolkit. And here we show a screenshot of some of the processes that are used during the certification for CMMC. More and more cryptocurrency is becoming mainstream. We need products that users can use to protect them from theft, as well as educate them to the legitimacy of things like wallets and projects. Here we can see two examples of commonly used wallets and what the security or insecurity is of these particular wallets. For those of you who have been in cryptocurrency for a while, you are no stranger to the various thefts and legitimacy problems that have happened with numerous exchanges. This tool can let you know what the legitimacy and security of a particular exchange is. Another excellent tool we offer is the ERC20 Smart Contract Audit Report. So many projects claim to be audited and then claim to be secure, and they're not. And sadly, some of the auditors in this space are bad actors who will say that a project is good when in fact it's not. And they know this ahead of time because they're sponsored by nation states to ensure that bad projects reach the market so that theft can occur. Our auditing tools are state-of-the-art and use so many federal requirements to assess the financial security as well as the actual coding security of these smart contracts. Curious as to whether or not a project is legitimate? Use the tool to assess that. We've actually become involved in numerous lawsuits against bogus companies, and we're proud to say that we were the first to root out the illegitimacy of many of said projects. One of the things that we are looking forward to developing is what we call ASEC, AI security. The concept will be that one, we can provide rewards, as we said, for things like our threat intelligence platform, but also this can be used like a real utility. Only pay for what you need. Similar to utilities like electricity, when you need a scan or another tool, don't subscribe and pay for it if you're only going to use it a few times. This will ensure you only pay for what you need when you need it. This screenshot simply shows the various tools that you'll be able to access by holding ASEC tokens. We at Cyber hope you've learned a lot from this video. Remember, you can invest in cyber today via Republic. We are the unicorn. We are the future. Thank you for your time.